You mean to tell me that Batman is killing people, like just shooting them in front of our eyes in Batman v Superman?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the dialogue where movies are more than mindless entertainment. I'm Andrew. This be Derek.
I be Derek.
He be Derek. He be in Derek all day, every day.
Yeah.
All right, so we just we had our Batman v Superman review. This not a review, but the movie is just blowing up the interwebs. There's a lot of people talking about it. Most of the talk we've noticed is we like on a ship here. Just
no, I'm just moving closer.
oh, okay. Most of the talk is of the negative sort. Just seems to be like a little hate train, just rolling out of town.
That's what I've been saying. The hate
And
train.
for me, I mentioned this in our review if you saw that, which you should. See notation. Or link in the description, wherever it is.
Wherever you can find it.
I gave my opinions without actually seeing the reviewers that I like online. I turned out to be somewhat sympathetic to a lot of what they said. Not all of what they said, but I did see, there's just so much coming at you, it does seem discombobulating at times. But we're going to take this opportunity to go in depth and talk about some plot holes, inconsistencies, and otherwise negative issues that people have with this.
Yeah, let's talk about it, man.
All right. Maybe we can create like a new thing, like Batman v Superman apologists or something like that. Maybe.
Create a Facebook page.
By the way, everybody, you can have your own opinion, and you can love and you can hate this movie all you want. You can be neutral.
Yeah.
You can be like,
I neither love or hate it.
It's a movie. It is.
So
do that. If you want us to be trolls too, then
I'm here to be your troll, baby.
we're here to be your troll.
There's a little kissy face for the camera. All right, let's get this thing rolling, son. Let's move.
All right, guys. I got something to talk about here. First of all, Batman killing people. This has been an issue that a few people brought up. Some people vehemently bring this up.
Right.
For me, it wasn't an issue watching it.
Right.
I did have some thoughts like, oh, he's killing people, but in my mind it was like, obviously bad guys, people shooting him first.
Yeah, I mean, like, so I guess, like, here's the thing, too, about it, is that it's not like he's necessarily murdering these people, because it is kind of self-defense, if you want to think about it that way. He never shoots anybody unless they're first trying to attack him. He never kills anybody unless they're first trying to kill him. But on top of that, this isn't the first time that this has happened.
Right.
I mean, like, you go back to other movies, I think everybody gets this stigma from, like, Chris Nolan's movies, and then they're just, like, because they don't know crap about comics, which is fine, that you don't, but I'm just saying, like, if you read some of the Batman comics that are back here, he kills people. It happens. It happens in the other movies. Even in Chris Nolan's Batman movies, it happens, people.
Batman Begins. Does it happen in
The Dark Knight. He kills Two-Face. He pushes him off the building, and he dies.
Right.
It happens in the first one, Batman Begins. He blows up Ra's al Ghul's house, which has a bunch of people in it.
Right. And this is something that you pointed out to me, because I was like, well, there's a scene in the train, obviously, and people.
Right.
This is almost where the stigma happens, where he says, "I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you." That's his line, or something like that.
Right.
But
which is silly.
Right.
It's silly because he jams the controls.
There may be some truth to it, but yes, he jams the controls and he tells Gordon to
blow the thing up.
To shoot the thing off. So essentially, he's creating a death trap.
Yeah, it's basically like he's going to die. So, in not saving him, you also caused his death. It would be one thing if the guy, like, was in, for instance, a barrel out of his own choosing, and you didn't direct the barrel down, like, this river that was going to go off a waterfall, and you were just like, hey, dude, you're out there in that barrel, but I'm not going to save you. Like, even that, I mean, we could say, like, that's sketchy.
Right. There's an issue going on there, but I think we all can agree that Batman is an anti-hero. He is sketchy in that way.
Yeah, but that's the thing about Batman is that he's willing to kind of cross the lines and do what's necessary. Mm-hmm. But even just going back to even like Tim Burton's Batman, he throws people off the bell tower when he's going to fight the Joker. So
if you want to, I may put a link in the description or maybe even an annotation. There's a
CinemaSins does that, right?
No, it's I don't know who does it, but there's a video out there called like Batman kill count or something like that where
he just goes through
and not all of the kills are legit, but he kind of opens your eyes. Yeah. And there's another interview which I feel is extremely enlightening on this point with Zack Snyder, where he mentions The Dark Knight Returns because he's like, there's a scene that's taken from this where he's like, it's the scene where, oh, by the way, spoilers, you knew that.
Well, I mean, we don't have to go into details, but basically Batman's forced with this decision where somebody's going to shoot this person, and he has to make the decision, am I going to shoot this person to stop them from killing this person?
Because the baddie's like, I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill her. Believe me. And he's like, I do believe you. In the comic, Batman just shoots him in the face.
Right.
And Zack Snyder in this interview addresses this, and he's like, yeah, people were telling me, people that wanted to be true to the comics were like, yeah, do it. And he's like,
just do it.
I'm not going to be the guy that has Batman shoot somebody in the face like that.
Right.
So he shoots, and this is kind of like kill by proxy is what he calls it. So he shoots the tank on his flamethrower.
Gas tank that he has, these flamethrower, yeah.
So it's kind of like by his own hand, he kills himself, but Batman, of course,
is an instigator in that.
He's an agent of death.
An agent of death.
He's like an agent of chaos, which would be the Joker, which is interesting, but...
I like how you just made that correlation.
So,
moving along here.
We still doing that? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here's something that I've heard people talk about on the internet, which kind of confused me a little bit.
Yeah.
First of all, I've only seen it one time, by the way.
I've seen it multiple times. I'm not going to go into details, but...
You're our go-to guy for this.
I'm a veteran.
So how is it that Batman... Him and Lex Luthor are working independently, and Batman, he works up all his gear, all his muscles, to fight Superman on this one night, which happens to be the same night that Lex Luthor kidnaps both the girls in Superman's life and hatches his whole plan.
Yeah.
Some people have been like, how's it happen the same night?
So there's a lot of cues that kind of go up to that. Obviously Lex Luthor actually knows who Batman is because he sends the letters to Bruce Wayne.
Lex Luthor pretty much knows
who everybody is. He knows that Clark Kent is Superman. He knows that Batman is Bruce Wayne. He knows.
Which does he knows that when he introduces them?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
That's interesting because I never did figure that out. I was like, does he know? And is he
I think he's just playing around. I think he knows all of them, and that's the whole thing about it is that he's able to kind of construct this master plan. So
he's watching Batman.
So basically, he's got surveillance of some kind. I mean, it's not necessarily explained entirely. However, it is kind of obvious that is the case because he is sending these notes to both of them, and he is also, keeping an eye out.
Didn't you say
there's a line?
There's a scene or something a small clip of him on the phone, talking to somebody.
Yeah. He's on the phone talking to somebody on top of the tower, and he's like, "The night is here." So he's it's almost like this anticipation for the night. He sees the bat signal turn on, and then he's like, "The night is here." Mm-hmm. So it's like, all right, it's time to get things in action to actually kidnap these people and get things rolling. And I think the kidnapping happens after that.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. I'll trust your word on that. Then he starts the egg timer.
If people know,
everything goes down. Okay,
I might be wrong.
Let's talk about Doomsday. Okay.
Oh yeah. Controversy.
How is he created and why is he created? I guess because for me, it was I mentioned this in the review. I was confused on how the whole thing was happening, but I kind of respected the filmmakers and what they were giving me, and obviously Lex Luthor is inside the ship learning stuff. Right. So it's kind of like he's. It's not like he's drawing a circle on the ground, and doing this witch's spell type thing. Which when that happens, you're kind of like, okay, yeah, that works. Right. But he's doing something that's more scientific, and I was kind of like, okay, all right. And then Doomsday is birthed, and I was like, I was scared of that, which I just let myself get pulled into it.
Yeah, just let yourself get emotionally captured.
But people are talking about this, being like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, so the how is, I feel easier to explain because obviously there's a lot of tech there that's just alien and foreign, and it's well, we don't even know how humans are necessarily created inside the womb. So, I mean, when you really think about it on a scientific level, we know that certain things happen there, but we don't know how they exactly happen.
Right. The mysteries of life.
The mysteries of life. And that's the same thing with the birth of Doomsday. I mean, I'm just going there.
It's
a perfect
drop.
Yeah, it's a perfect analogy. It's The birthing of humans, the birthing of doomsday. Some things just can't be explained to people.
I could see this being like total fodder for people in the comment section. Being like,
you're an idiot. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
It's magic, kids.
The magic of life.
How was Doomsday created? Ask your mom later.
Well, Lex Luthor and this machine got together. Anyway,
merciful heavens.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Okay.
But basically, the why, as to the why, instead of the how.
I feel like the why is really interesting.
The why is interesting because I feel like a lot of people might not get it. And I feel like basically what's supposed to be established is that Lex Luthor's character kind of has this anti-theism kind of idea in his mind where basically like he has such a hatred for the idea of there being a god, even if that's just Superman, that he is willing to go even suicidal to kill him, to like show the world that God is not real. And so he creates this basically devil, which is Doomsday, to basically say, see, God is not good.
Right.
Is what it comes down to. And like he doesn't care if he kills himself in the process. Because that's the thing, is it looks like Doomsday's right about to punch him. And like that's a part of it. Like he just doesn't care.
Yeah, and that's something that kind of caught me off guard at the when it happened, but because it was almost like, oh, is he like controlling it somehow, or is it kind to him or something like that? Because he was like, blood of my blood. Does he say flesh of my flesh? Blood of my blood, flesh of my blood?
No, he just says blood of my blood.
Blood of my blood. Blood bros. But then like he attacks him, but then Superman, steps in the way. But yeah. I like what you said there,
because even his line, like right before it happens, he's like, "And now God is as good as dead."
Right.
I mean, like that's.
I love what you said there, because it's kind of like he's out to kind of prove that there is no God, and when there's a person like Superman that comes in and people are like, "Oh, there is," he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna research this puppy out and be like, oh, okay, so this is how you create an indestructible monster. Let's do that because this is number one priority.
Right.
God has to die.
Right.
Yeah. I like that.
Which is really interesting. And there's a lot of interesting existential stuff there, which some people might not like, but that's the movie. So if you don't like it, I understand.
All right, let's close this up with just a small little ditty. Superman using a spear instead of Wonder Woman. I've heard this online. The IMDb posts. Yeah. People were like, so they get the spear back, and like, why does Superman use it instead of like giving it to Wonder Woman or something like that? And I like your answer.
Yeah, I mean. So basically, no matter who uses the spear, one of them's gonna die because Doomsday didn't die immediately when they stabbed him. You know what I mean? So it's like,
you're potentially giving up your life.
You're potentially, it's a self-sacrificing moment.
Right.
Basically, what it comes down to.
Right.
And the thing about Superman is, whoever used it, I mean, he wasn't going to be able to do much anyway after that point as far as strength goes. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like, if it was, like, two people needed to be occupying the monster while one person, like, tries to get in there, it's like if Superman went in there anyway, he would still be affected in the same way.
Right. I mean, that's kind of what happened, like, when Wonder Woman had the lasso.
Yeah,
and was way out there with the grenades.
Yeah. And then, and that's the thing, too, is that she had the lasso on him, and then when he got stabbed, he kind of, like, let out this explosion of energy, and it let go of the lasso. You know what I mean?
Those explosions of energy, though, man.
Those are intense.
Those are a little bit more than intense. Those
are next level destruction. Nuclear warfare.
Like, I'm just imagining like the people on the other end of the planet like getting hit by tsunami waves created from the shock of this explosion from the other side of the planet. Anyways,
there are some cool things too, just by way of mention, just as like quick mentions, honorable mentions. Honorable mentions.
Go for it.
The death of Superman at the end of this movie. That's obviously off of the comic called The Death of Superman. I've watched this movie a couple of times now, like I said. A few times, I should say. And every single time that I've watched the movie, I've heard the reaction of the audience be like, and it's like, this is something that happens in the comics. It's not like they're just like, oh, we're going to kill Superman for the fun of it.
Right. And I had read the comic, so I wasn't surprised, I guess, by it.
Right. The other thing that happens is obviously Batman kills people in some of the comics, and then I feel like there was something else that I was going to mention as well that happens in the comics. But Darkseid. The weird stuff that kind of happens. That's Darkseid. Also, in case you didn't realize this as well, it was the Flash that's coming through, like when he rips the time portal. Mm-hmm. Just to kind of like explain some things so that you're not like, if you are watching this hoping to have some questions answered, those will kind of answer your questions a little bit. Right. At least give you the right direction to look in.
Do you know, like, as far as I think, essentially that was kind of one of those things that's put in there to correlate to the Dawn of Justice, meaning Justice League. So it's basically a tie-in to the next movie that's gonna...
Right, which obviously more the questions will be answered more in more detail in those.
So you do take the risk of just adding another element to the movie,
right? You know, which DC fans will know. But if you don't know,
that,
then you'll just be like, what? Like what? What just happened?
That was me too. I was.
But the same thing happens kind of like with the Marvel movies too. There's stuff in those that are just like, wait, what? Like, like
what? What?
And then, some Marvel fanboy will come up to you and be like, that's Ragnarok reference. Thor. I read those comics. Which I'm cool with because I'm the same way with DC, so.
Sounds good, man.
But yeah.
All right, let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know if you like our style, if you want to see more from us. Yes. And you can let us know that by either liking, subscribing, or commenting. Yeah, please subscribe. What was amazing is that we went from like 50 or 48 or whatever it was, and then we went all the way up to 60 in a week. Mm-hmm. That was fantastic, guys. Yeah. Let's try and get... Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Let's try and get to 70. Like, hey, like if we can just keep jumping up by 10, I'm cool with that. Dude, yeah. Let's see if we can get to 70. Yeah. We're making movies every week, so subscribe, and it'll come up on your feed, movie reviews. Yeah. All right, other than that... Thanks for joining us, and until next time on The Dialogue.